Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and Degenerates, and today we are talking about Scott Pilgrim versus the World, another unique comic book movie. Uh, though,
I mm,
by the time this movie came out, only two of the books were ever written, so go figure.
so yeah, I would say like people will say that this movie did a disservice to the comic books.
Yeah,
Me and Enzo never read them,
yeah,
so
I
we have
wouldn't
zero.
know.
Yeah, so we have zero information on it. So we're not really gonna dwell in too deep with the comic books, and we're gonna mostly stay in this movie. So
Yeah, yeah. For sure, there have been thousands upon thousands of reviews on YouTube about Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and different takes on the fights and the homage to video games, and we'll get to that later on. But for now, I want to do something unique since you have been in romantic relationships. I want to talk about that.
okay, all
Yeah,
right. I
enough fine. As a person
no,
who's
no,
been
no,
in
it's
one,
okay. It's okay. It's all good. I get you.
what do you think of Scott Pilgrim at first dating Knife Chow in the beginning?
No,
No.
no, I'm sorry. 17, he's 22.
Yeah.
It does not roll that way. And I see why all of his friends were like, they're all kind of like just making fun of him, like, oh, you're babysitting. No, we're on a date, babysitting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a bit off. And especially what he does to her later. He does nothing wrong, if you guys haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
He more or less cheats on her with Ramona Flowers,
And when you
which is
say
very
do
bad.
nothing wrong, he doesn't force himself.
He doesn't
Uh,
force himself. Yeah,
yeah.
it's nothing like, oh, he forces himself or but
Yeah.
he is a shitty person. Here's the thing: a lot of people related with Scott here. A lot of people were quirky and they were Sims, especially when Mary Elizabeth Winstead showed her face.
Yeah.
Everybody was just like, "Wow." Um, but yeah, a lot of people, especially in our school, kind of related with Scott, where they would sim. They're these quirky, nerdy guys, and I hate what this movie has done to us.
Yeah, yeah, watching this movie all these years later and knowing how people, especially guys, interact in high school or in the internet, you're like,
Or in college, yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah. But yeah, Scott is in a band. He's dating Knife Chow, who's 17, and he's only doing that as a way to heal from his other
co-
breakup.
yeah. This is like him still grieving over or coping with his recent breakup that happened a year ago with a certain superhero.
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah.
anyway,
Speaking of which, this movie is filled with oh my god, this person's in this. Like Anna
yeah.
Kendrick, Audrey Plaza, Chris Evans, and yeah, Brie Larson.
Brandon Roth,
Yeah, yeah. Like holy shit, I haven't seen you since
Superman.
2006. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, as you said, everything changes when he meets Ramona Flowers and he tries to start a conversation with Pac-Man. You're like, stop it. That's not cool.
No.
Dog, stop it.
Dude, I don't think I saw the movie in theaters, but I remember somebody coming up to me and giving me that trivia. And I was like, can you please leave me alone? Like, say nobody fucking cares. That's the best way for you somebody to go. Please leave me alone.
Yeah. It's like, can I help you? What? I'm not the right person to talk to about this. There's someone else there who might be interested.
Yeah. But this is like uh, Scott Pilgrim is the pioneer of simping, I think, in my opinion. Like this is sure, there were Sims before where somebody would be obsessed with a girl or a guy and they can't stop thinking about him. And they'll do whatever they can, but also, gush about them wherever they go.
Yeah.
But I think Scott Pilgrim was that movie that was like, hey, I think it's okay to be like this. You know what I
And
mean?
the lengths he goes to get her attention or just to be with her, he stalks her and figures out oh, she's a delivery person, so if I order from this site, I'll get to be with her. And that's
Yeah. Okay, okay. Don't get me wrong. there's nothing wrong with getting little information to like, hey, this cute girl I like, I wanna date. And simping is not all that bad, as long as you know your boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and within those rules, you're fine.
Yeah, like boundaries are important. Like I'm sure if any of you who are watching are like Twitch streamers, you know, like there are some people who are like, oh, that's sweet, and there are some that are like, wow, okay, yeah, yeah, and then it's during their first encounter, like they do sleep with each other, and then he invites her to a band recital or like a
uh,
band battle.
okay, I don't think they sleep together. They sleep beside each other, but they
Oh,
didn't do anything.
yeah, yeah, they didn't have these
Yeah,
stakes.
yeah,
Uh,
because she was like, I was like, I made up my mind. I ain't having sex with you today. I was like, whoa, damn. Anyway,
And like when he meets her in the band battle, she's like, "Oh, guys, this is Ramon," and Anakin is like, "Oh, this is Knives."
how'd you guys meet Scott? And Scott's like, fuck, fuck, fuck.
And
No,
then
but dude, this is our first. Not really our first. We did hear like the intro,
yeah,
and we kind of got the vibe of the movie with its soundtrack, and I was
yeah,
like,
the
Edgar
Zelda
Wright,
theme.
this was so no, not that. But once they start playing,
Yeah,
Sex Bob-ombs starts playing. I'm like, fuck. I never knew I wanted indie grunge in my
yeah, yeah,
life before, and it's so good.
yeah. And then that's where we get our first battle, and you can tell that there's a very big homage to the world of video games.
Mm. Yeah, with
It's
the plus points and the next level versus
and
level ups, and yeah,
yeah, every time he defeats one of the X's, like coins come out of them. Like, oh, you get 2,000 points. Like, that's neat,
yeah. But 2,000 points doesn't mean anything when it can't get you a bus ride home.
right? And then he invites her over to his place, and then he tells his roommate, like, I want to be alone with her. Like, fine, but you have to break up with Knives. You can't keep doing this.
Yeah, like oh god, what was his name? He was Macaulay Culkin's brother, right?
Yeah, yeah, Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace, Kieran Culkin. There you go. Yeah, he is pretty much kind of the what do you call it? The Jiminy Cricket of Scott Pilgrim, where he's kind of the conscious, like, hey, best think about it, and he's right. If you want to go with this girl, you gotta straight up break up with this other one, because you already did a big boo boo with, which is going into her house
Yeah,
and making out with her. That's already bad. But we did kind of like skip over the fight scene here, dude. The fight scenes here are fucking great.
yeah, yeah,
It's to the beat. It's creative and it's funny, especially with the first X, where
yeah,
he starts doing a Bollywood dance. I was like, I can't look away. I really
yeah.
can't.
Uh, it's that and like progressively, like the boss battles get more interesting. You're like, oh, it's not just bronze that beats the boss. It's how you beat them. You have to think of other
Yeah,
ways to beat them.
yeah. I like it that majority of these bosses aren't like. It's not just a fight scene.
Yeah,
Sometimes he just outsmarts them.
yeah, yeah. And then after he breaks up, he and Ramona hang out in their place where he learns that bread makes you fat, and that's a quote that lives rent free in my mind forever. Yeah, after that they go out, and that's where you meet Lucas Lee, who's played by Chris Evans. You're like, oh shit, it's Captain America. It's
Yep.
douchier.
Yeah, like a skateboarder became actor,
Yeah, yeah,
and shit was funny. Shit
yeah,
was fun just to see Scott Pilgrim get his ass beat by his like stunt double or stunt team.
yeah. And then this is what I mean by he can't defeat Lucas Lee with bronze. He has to outsmart him. So he's like, "Can you do a grind down those steps?" And he psychs him out. Like he's like, "I can't do this."
I love it. He was like, "Can you do a thingy
Yeah,
like over there on
you
the
mean a
stairs?
grind?
You mean a grind? Yeah,
Yeah,
can you do a grind?" And of course, took up the challenge because girls are looking.
Yeah.
does it, and immediately regrets it. Man
Yeah.
pretty much eats shit. I do like it that it kind of is an homage to the Tony Hawk games
Yeah.
ish.
Ish. And then later on, he goes to uh, a Starbucks store with Ramona.
A Starbucks.
Yeah.
A
I forgot.
Starbucks. A Starbucks.
No, I mean, it's not Starbucks. It's another coffee shop.
It's just a cafe.
It's a fine cafe, and then that's where he gets to see his ex. Not nice, but envy.
No, I do love it that they were hinting like, who is this infamous ex that Scott used to date and is like the bane of his existence? And like you see the posters everywhere at the start of the movie, but you never like piece it together. Like, oh, he used to date her.
Yeah.
Fuck. And she's very petty, which I found really great.
Yeah. Like when Knives like buys the disc, he's like, no, I used to listen to them until the lead became a bitch.
Yeah,
What's your problem with this band? Oh, never mind. All right.
yeah. And at the cafe when he met up with Ramona, because did she bail?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Wait,
Oh,
yeah.
no, she did.
No, she did. She did
Was
bail
it this
when
league?
after. Yeah, and she kind of apologized to him, and like right behind her was Envy doing the same pose as the poster. I was like,
Yeah.
I love this movie so much. I love Edgar Wright.
And then that's where the next battle happens of the bands, where you got to find out that his band has to be good enough to get signed a deal with G-Man. Like, you don't know who this guy is until, like, later on. You're like, oh, that's a problem.
Not gonna lie, this is probably one of the few jump scares that got me. Because they were like, I was like, we need to get big, man. We have to get stalkers. And he moves away from the window and you just see knives on the window. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I swear, rewatching it, I was like, I forgot about that scene. And it scared the living shit out of me.
And then Knife changes her hair, changes her style, and then gets with young Neil in front of Scott. You're like, oh, okay.
You punched the highlights out of her hair. You punched the highlights out of her hair. This movie's so quotable.
That song, though, again, it's one of the songs that, again, lives rent-free in my head. And you can find the full version on YouTube.
Which song?
The one that Envy sings on stage.
Ah, yeah, that shit was hot.
Yeah.
The song, I mean. Envy was hot.
Yeah. And then she calls Scott and the rest of the gang. They have a conversation that eventually... I forgot what spurs on Knives to get hit by Brandon.
Because Knives was like, I kissed the lips that kissed yours. And I was like, what? I guess it does spur like, oh, you should have not said that.
Yeah.
And immediately gets punched by Brendan Roth.
Yeah. You're like,
And
okay.
this is where we find out that he's vegan.
Yeah. That's like, he goes Super Saiyan with the vegan powers. And how are you going to beat him, Scott? And again, it's an ingenious way of defeating the bad guy.
Yes, where, yeah, he gets tossed around. You can tell that Scott is way out of his league when it comes to Brendan. And I do love the bass battle here. I did learn the bass for Scott's part. I could never do Brendan's part. I was like, I don't know the pentatonic scale that well, so give me a bit. If I learn it, I'll post it on TikTok or something.
And then, how he ultimately defeats him is that he tricks him into drinking, what was it, 2 in 1? Sorry, half and half.
Half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 in 1, I guess. Instead of soy.
Yeah. And then the vegan police come. He's like, wait, don't I get like 3 strikes? And then they're like,
the man has actually been eating a shit ton of non-vegan meat.
Yeah. He ate chicken parmesan. He's like, chicken isn't vegan? You're like, oh.
I mean, did you not notice who one of the vegan police was?
Who was he from? Oh shit, that's him.
Sorry.
No, no wonder he looks so familiar.
I was like, oh shit,
It's
it's
rated.
Raiden. Oh god. And the other guy was a scientist in Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah, he was in.
Yeah.
Is that the one that turns batshit in the second one, right?
Hmm?
Is he the one that turns like crazy in the second one?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was the other, like, he was an engineer, not the scientist, sorry.
Okay. And then you learn that throughout the movie, you learned that there's this league of 7 evil exes. They're like, alright, Brandon was the third one. So who's the fourth,
Yeah.
and fifth, and sixth one?
No, I do love it. She was like, your evil ex-boyfriends, she was an exes.
Yeah.
And he's like, why do you keep saying that? Immediately, we find out that she actually was a little bite.
Yeah.
It was a phase.
And like he refuses to hit the woman. He's like, I can't do this. Then Ramona has to control him.
No, but that show was sick. When you see that scene, Jesus Christ. But when you see that scene where she throws like a roundhouse kick and Ramona catches it midair,
Yeah.
that was a fucking cool scene.
Right?
Or shot, sorry.
They're like, oh shit, this is intense.
Yeah, but sad to say, there are rules, so they can't really finish the fight with girl on girl.
Yeah.
Scott has to be the one that defeats her, or she has to defeat Scott.
Yeah. I forgot, how does she defeat her again?
So we find out that Roxy has a spot behind her knee that makes her cool. That's how she loses.
Oh man.
Her G spot isn't anywhere near the navel. It's behind the knee. So
It's like, again, interesting ways to defeat the boss.
and I love how Roxy was like, "You'll never get her to do this." And I was like, "Oh, I guess that was a jab on you, Scott."
Yeah. No,
Also, I love the word has-been for somebody who used to be a lesbian.
and that's
Oh,
why
this movie's great.
They
This movie's
split,
great.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, because the next scene is them.
With the twins that.
Yeah. This is kind of the least interesting battle for me.
This part? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll disagree on that one. But yeah, anyway. So they get invited, and we find out that it's amp versus amp, which means both parties play, and crowds have to choose, like who is winner.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, here the crowds don't choose because one of them has to die. I get why you say it's least interesting because it is just CG dragon versus Sasquatch thingy. But the music was so fucking.
Oh yeah, the music all the way. Is
Threshold. I learned the bass line for that one on my bass. Sadly, I don't have the E string no more. It's not. I learned the bass line of that thing because it's such a good fucking song. Like, in a world ruled by guitarists, sometimes you just need a really good bass line.
Yeah. And then that's also where you meet G-Man, who is played by Jason Schwartzman, who is the 7th ex of Ramona Flowers.
Yep, and oh my god. Man looks dweeby.
Yeah.
And I know it's on purpose. Like, a lot of her exes kind of look very dweeby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they win and they get signed on by G-Man, but Scott's like, no, I refuse to. And they're like, alright, young Neil will replace you.
I love how, what was his name again? The guy who plays the guitarist in Sex Babang.
Fuck. Not Neil.
Not Neil. Anyway, him, like, when G-Man goes, like, your music is amazing. And you hear him moan, like, oh. And you see, like, pee coming down his leg. I'm like, why? Why does that have to be there, but okay?
And then Scott gets spurred on by his roommate to, you have to do something about this.
Hmm. Yeah, well, no. He was kind of more like, hey, she moved on, she found somebody else. You have to move on too. And then G-Man calls, and
Yeah,
they find out he's a real big asshole. He's like, nope, never mind, go
yeah,
kick his
exactly.
ass.
Like, you know what? Yeah, kick his ass.
Hmm.
And then I like how this last boss fight is divided into two phases.
Hmm.
Like,
Which does make sense because he did get a one up
yeah, yeah,
in like the last battle that he had.
yeah. Like, because the first battle, the sword comes out because he uh, finds the
Yeah.
power of true love. Like, that's cool.
That's cool, but you see the stats are kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and then,
And we do get a really good like fight scene.
yeah,
Like
no,
again, they really do really well with like choreography and shit. I can't find any fault in the choreography at all.
same here.
Nothing felt slow, nothing felt like cutty, nothing felt like sure there were a lot of cuts, but it felt like there was
I can
flow.
still see it.
Yeah, you could still comprehend what the fuck was going on.
Like Scott taking out the henchman, you're like, that's pretty sick.
It is.
Yeah.
And you know it's not Michael Cera, but it's still cool. And how
Yeah.
they edit it.
Yeah, yeah. And then out of the blue, Knives Out attacks Ramona Flowers. And then he's like, wait, no, you don't understand.
I
know.
cheated on both of you.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, he was like, no, I cheated on Knives with you. And she was like, what's the difference? You weren't wronged? I was like,
She's just like,
yeah, it's still wrong.
yeah.
Doesn't matter who the recipient is.
And then he gets stabbed, and you're like, I guess it's the game over. No, he gets an extra life. Yeah, a one up.
And there's a shit ton of commentary with this movie, with the whole, like, romance and shit. It's so odd. It's just very odd
Yeah.
to me. Because they want us to root for this guy, but I don't wanna. When I was a kid, I did. Like, wow, I could just be a dweeby, like, a quiet soy boy, and I'll get any girl like Ramona Flowers. It doesn't work that way in the real world. Unless, I don't know, the girl's built different. She likes the soy boy. I don't get it. I really don't.
Especially the end, where we'll get to eventually, or shortly. Because, yeah, second boss battle happens, and everything changes because he tells the guy at the front, like, your hair's stupid. He just bursts into coins.
Yeah, so he just sped run it, like, Dark Souls style, and
Yeah.
redoes everything and gets to the actual fight. He finally gets to fight Gideon toe to toe. So
Yeah, and Gideon's like, you're doing this for Ramona? No, I'm doing this for me.
yeah, and self respect had way better stats than true love. I was
Yeah.
like, that is a really good message. Love yourself before loving anybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I swear to God, the amount of baggage that you're gonna put on a partner because you don't love yourself is gonna take a toll on them, and they might not like it.
Yeah. And then he beats Gideon for a bit, and then Knives comes out again and just kicks Ramona in the face.
I don't know how nobody has a bruise yet.
Right?
Yeah,
And
but
then-
it is stylized.
And then he's like, no, I cheated. I'm wrong.
I cheated on both of you.
Yeah, on both of
I
them.
am wrong. Yeah.
And then both him and Knives do a tag team on Gideon, which again, choreography is pretty sick.
Yeah. And they do, yeah, it's reminiscent to the first part of this movie where they're doing that ninja dance revolution thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about.
Like, I think it was Scott who like flips him, and then, or Knives who flips him, and then Scott slams him to the ground. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then he just pretty much kicks him in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hot. I'm the one that's blowing up right now.
And then no, yeah, you are blowing up right now. Bang.
I do like the stylized finishers that they have, like when he headbutts the person or kicks them in the face, or what happened to the base guy?
The base guy.
Oh, he's the one who gets headbutt, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Again, going back to the band, like for the first half, the girls just like, we are sex bomb and we're here to sell out and shit.
And well, she ain't wrong.
Yeah, and the next one's like, we're sex bomb and we're here to see Scott kick Gideon's ass. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Finally calls
And,
young Neil, and he's like, vindication.
yeah. And they do beat Gideon, and you gotta love how they're like, well, there goes our deal.
Yeah,
Wait, we're still getting paid, right? There goes our deal. I'm like, at least she's real.
right?
You know? She's real with the group. No wishful thinking.
But Scott has one other villain to contend with, and that's Nega Scott. You're like, that's new.
I'm sorry. It's I keep going back, like I keep having flashbacks to that Crimson Chin joke. That's like a meme now on
Yeah.
TikTok.
You don't see what happens, but you're like, I guess nothing really did happen, because he's like, alright, let's get coffee next week. And the guy.
Because Scott fighting himself is just him befriending himself.
Mm-hmm.
They're both the same person. I was like, yeah. To be honest, I feel like that would happen to me as well. Like if I found like my doppelganger who's supposed to be the evil version, I think we'll just get along.
Yeah, like, hey, let's hang out sometime.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting brunch. He's a pretty cool guy.
And then Ramon is like, I still need to find a new life. I need to get out of town, find my own purpose. And then Knives is to Scott is like, you should go after her. And before I'm like, yeah. Now I'm like, what?
Was there? I don't know if I'm crazy, but was there an alternate ending? I remember there being an alternate ending where
I
he
think
does
there was.
end up with knives,
Yeah,
which is weird. Still weird for me.
it is.
Where
Both endings are weird.
both endings are, in my opinion, undeserved.
Yeah.
I feel like Ramona should have just like, hey, he cheated on me, and Knives was also like, hey, he cheated on me. This guy's actually an asshole. I don't think you're ready for a relationship.
Right?
Yeah, so that's pretty much who I would have liked, where they both parted ways. They all parted ways instead of like him ending up with either Aerith or Tifa.
Right? Well, yeah, that's the end of the movie. And again, one last homage. It says, "Do you want to continue?" 3, 2, 1. Game over.
Yeah, and then we get the Ramona song, which
Yeah.
every high schooler back in our day used to play. We weren't high school yet when this came out, so we just
Yeah.
listened to the angsty teens going through puberty, and they brought a guitar to school.
Yeah. I mean, we were junior high, so we could hear them. across the hall.
2010?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were kind of in the same vicinity. Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, everything being said, what would you rate this movie?
Damn, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I don't stand by Scott. I feel like Scott is a horrible person.
Yeah.
And especially what he did. But it is a very fun and entertaining movie. And I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Like, it's above average. It's fun. You see Chris Evans before he was Captain America. You see Superman with Brandon Roth.
Yeah.
And you see Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who became our quintessential hipster girl crush.
Yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
because Brie Larson before she became super famous too.
Oh yeah, Brie Larson as well. And yeah, say what you will, we saw her in Sky High and we had a crush on her there. But this is the pinnacle of like, oh my god, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead, take me,
It's like,
please.
damn.
Yeah, we all simped for her.
Yeah.
I know everybody did. Me and my brother, you and me, Seb, Edwin,
Everybody.
Nina. Yeah,
Well,
everybody.
If you say you don't, I want to know why in the comments. Like, what's?
Yeah, what's wrong with us, Mary Elizabeth Winstead? What's
Yeah.
wrong with you?
I'll also give this a 7. Like, I do like most of the characters except for Scott. The action's pretty good, and like, just it's not saying like, oh shit, that's so and so before they blow up, or like before they go further underground. Like, Vandernoot ends up in CW with Arrow.
Oh, I kept mispronouncing his name. Ruth, not
Ruth.
Roth.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see the U there. My bad.
Oh, well. But yeah, Fun movie. Always a fun time to revisit it. And like, it's the first time in our 2 year history that we have a Edgar Wright film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did like? I mean, if you want, we could do Hot Fuzz sometime soon.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz, and Shaun of the Dead,
Hmm.
and oh, definitely Baby Driver.
Ah, yeah. Hopefully, we could do those sometime soon.
Yeah, but yeah, that's been our video on Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
It's all good.
If you want to
We
see
do.
more of us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. If you want to hear us on the go, we have a Spotify podcast. If you wanna, shut up. Here's the car.
Man, you haven't written that.
I do.
What's wrong with you?
I'm trying. And if you want to see us relive our greatest moments, like that one, we have a TikTok. Individually. Oh no. Oh yeah, we have a Facebook too. Where we react to trailers and sharing about video games and about our lives. Fitting that we see
Oh, wait.
video games.
Do you want me to do the outros for now?
No! Go away! I can do this. I'm a big boy. Introverted can find me in the office 1995 on IG and Twitter. Ah.
I'm sorry. I know I'm prolonging this video than it should be, but like you going.
Sorry.
It's all good.
You know, you guys already know my IG and Twitter handles by now.
Yeah. If you don't, the link's in the description below.
How about you?
Oh shit, my bad. You can find me at JumpGEOM on Instagram. It is my article.
Just sit quietly for 5 minutes, like, yes?
Shut the
What?
fuck up.
That's all the time we have for this video, at least. We'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Chat.